At the ancient Greek Olympics, competition was so intense the athletes were often unfair, even injuring their opponents. Competitors swore an oath in those games next to a statue of Zeus. But in 1920, the International Olympic Committee created a new one that included the words, "in the spirit of chivalry." In 1961, the oath was amended, including the addition of the phrase, "in the true spirit of sportsmanship." While the oath is only spoken by one athlete and one coach of the hosting country, it's safe to say the Olympics have come a long way in regards to sportsmanship. In fact, some of sport's best sportsmanship moments have happened at the Summer Games. Here are 10 of them. Simone Biles is one of the most famous Olympians of all time, and her sportsmanship was on full display in a unique situation in Tokyo in 2020. Biles was struggling with her mental health, the twisties as gymnasts refer to it, and pulled out of the team competition. Instead of retreating, Simone stayed in the gym to cheer on and even coach her teammates, including Jade Carey, who replaced her in the all-around. When Michaela Skinner won silver in the vault, an event Biles almost surely would have won, Simone was shown ecstatic in the stands. Of course, Simone is the heavy favorite to win the all-around in Paris. In a semifinal heat of the men's 800 meters in Tokyo, Isaiah Jewett was about to make his final kick when Botswana's Nigel Amos clipped the back of his heel and both runners fell. Rather than being angry, the 24-year-old from Inglewood, California grabbed hands with Amos and they embraced. Amos apologized, Jewett said it was okay, and with his arm around him, they walked to the finish line. Amos let Jewett go just ahead of him, and he finished 23rd in his Olympic debut. At the Olympic trials in June, Jewett was nearing the finish line when Isaiah Harris appeared to extend his arm to cut him off. Harris fell to the ground, and Jewett showed incredible sportsmanship again, setting aside anger and offering a hand to help Harris up. He refused, and neither qualified for Paris. A similar scene happened 4 years earlier in Rio in the semifinals of the women's 5,000 meters. When New Zealand's Nikki Hamblin tripped, America's Abby D'Agostino, now Abby Cooper, fell over her and injured her knee. Instead of immediately attempting to rejoin the race, D'Agostino helped the shaken Hamblin to her feet, cameras catching her saying, get up, we have to finish. This is the Olympic Games, we have to finish this." Both runners were invited to compete in the final. However, Cooper had suffered a torn ACL and meniscus. Abby, who had 7 NCAA titles at Dartmouth, came back from the injury but just missed qualifying for Tokyo, finishing 4th in the 5,000 at those trials. All swimmers who participate in a relay receive a medal if the team wins, even if they did not race in the final. However, only the 4 from the finals get to stand on the podium. This rule surfaced in 2020 when Brooks Curry swam in the 4x100 meter freestyle throughout the prelims, but was replaced in the final by Caleb Dressel in the leadoff. The U.S. won gold and Curry watched from the stands during the medal ceremony. However, immediately after, Dressel called Curry over and threw him the medal. Curry eventually got his own, and Dressel added to his hardware the following day, winning gold and setting an Olympic record in the 100-meter free. Both swimmers will return to Paris, where Dressel is the favorite to win, which would put an exclamation mark on his impressive comeback after taking nearly a year off. In Seoul in 1988, during the 5th of 7 races that make up Finn-class sailing, 40-mile-per-hour winds caused Singapore's Joseph Chan and Su Sha Her's boat to capsize, throwing the duo into the water and injuring them. Canadian Lawrence Lemieux, who was in second place at the time, noticed the stranded sailors and veered off course to rescue them. Lemieux returned to the race but dropped 20 spots. However, because of his heroic actions, the yacht racing's governing body gave Lemieux the points from the race he would have earned for a second-place finish. In the end, Lemieux finished 11th in the event but was given a special sportsmanship award from the IOC for his actions. Back in the 1932 Olympics in Los Angeles, British fencer Judy Guinness seemingly won the gold in individual foil over Austria's Ellen Prees. However, Guinness notified the judges that they failed to award 2 points to Prees for successful touches. So the scores were updated and it reversed the final result, giving Prees gold and Guinness silver. And yes, Judy is part of the family that created Guinness beer a few centuries earlier in 1759. At the Berlin Games in 1936, America's Earl Meadows won gold in the pole vault, while Shohei Nishida and Su-Oh were tied for second. The Japanese pole vaulters were then ordered to compete in a jump-off for the silver. However, the friends refused to compete only against each other. So because Nishida had fewer misses up to that point, he was given the silver. When the teammates returned to Japan, though, they had their medals cut in half and created 2 new medals that were half silver and half bronze. They called them Medals of Friendship. Oi set a national record in pole vault the following year that stood for 21 years. The 2008 Olympics in Beijing marked the beginning of Usain Bolt's dominance in sprinting with back-to-back-to-back golds in the 100 and 200 meters. In the latter final, the Netherlands' Antilles Sharonde Martina won silver and America's Wallace Spearman won bronze. However, judges ruled that both had stepped on lane lines during the race and were disqualified. American Shawn Crawford, who won gold in the 2004 Olympics in Athens, finished 4th and was awarded the silver medal. After the games were over, however, Crawford sent Martina a package with the note, "I know this won't replace the moment, but I want you to have this because I believe it's rightfully yours." Inside was the silver medal. Derek Redmond first broke the British record in the 400 meters in 1985 and then again in 1987, and was a favorite heading into the 1988 Olympics in Seoul. However, just 90 seconds before the first round, he pulled out with an Achilles injury. 8 operations later, Redmond returned to the Games in 1992 in Barcelona and won the fastest time in the first round. However, about midway through the semifinals, Redmond started hobbling and then fell to the ground. He had torn his hamstring. Medics attempted to take Redmond from the track, but he insisted on finishing. Derek's father, Jim, then came on the track and helped his son finish, as 65,000 spectators gave them a standing ovation. Derek was told by doctors his sprinting career was over, so he found a passion for another sport, eventually playing professional basketball for the Birmingham Bullets and the English national team, and also dabbled in motocross and boxing. Meanwhile, when the Olympics came to London 24 years later, Jim Redmond was named one of the torchbearers. At the Beijing Olympics in 2008, Kenya's Sammy Wanjiru was leading the race, but had a potentially crucial mistake, missing a water station. Ethiopia's Deriva Murga noticed, and instead of taking advantage, he shared his own water bottle with Sammy. Wanjiru went on to win the marathon, Kenya's first winner in the event, and set an Olympic record. Murja finished 4th in Beijing, but had the fastest half marathon time that year and won the Boston Marathon in 2009.